Watch how disappointed you feel when nobody notices your spiritual growth. Watch how badly you want people to recognize how aware you become. Watch how secretly irritated you get when someone less spiritual than you gets more attention. You didn't stop performing, you just changed audiences. Before, you wanted your boss to notice your work. Now you want your guru to notice your devotion. Before, you needed your parents to approve of your choices. Now you need spiritual communities to validate your path. Before, you checked your bank account to feel successful. Now you check how many people liked your meditation post. Same pattern, different costume. And here's what makes it dangerous. At least when you were chasing money, you knew what you were doing. You admitted it. I want to be successful. I want people to respect me. No pretense, no spiritual bypass, just honest seeking. But now you've hidden it behind sacred language. You call your need for approval humility. You call your performance service. You call your seeking surrender. Notice what happens when someone questions your spiritual progress. Notice the defense mechanism that kicks in immediately. Notice how quickly you need to prove yourself. The vessel suddenly becomes very solid. The servant suddenly becomes very egoistic. You didn't transcend ego. You just made it sophisticated enough to hide. Let me show you how deep this goes. Ramakrishna, worshipped by millions as enlightened, teaching in the holy city of Varanasi. Scholars approached him, religious intellectuals, the gatekeepers of spiritual legitimacy. They said, "You claim enlightenment, prove it, speak Sanskrit." All enlightened beings speak the language of the gods. You speak common languages, street languages. If you want our recognition, speak our language. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. This man, this supposedly enlightened master, this person who claimed to have transcended ego and merged with the divine, could not say, "I don't need your recognition." Instead, he left, went to the Himalayas, found a Sanskrit teacher, and learned their language. Like a student seeking a certificate. Think about what this reveals. If you've actually transcended the need for approval, why do you care what scholars think? If you've merged with existence itself, why do you need their validation? If you've found ultimate truths, why are you performing for their recognition? But he couldn't let it go. And it gets worse. The scholar said, "You're wearing the orange robe, the robe of spiritual seekers, but we don't recognize you. Take it off." So he did. He changed to white clothes because they told him to. An enlightened master, supposedly beyond ego, changing his clothes, learning a new language, performing for approval. This is ego at its most sophisticated. Because now he could tell himself a story. "I'm being humble. I am serving the truth by learning Sanskrit. I am surrendering my pride by changing my robe. But look at what he was actually doing. Seeking their validation, needing their approval, performing for their recognition. The same pattern you're running, just dressed in spiritual justification. And this pattern is everywhere. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Watch spiritual people. Watch how they talk. Watch how they move. Watch how they present themselves. They've given up saying, I am hungry. Now they say, this body is hungry, or Ramakrishna is hungry, referring to themselves in third person, as if they've transcended the ego. They say, this being needs rest, or this vessel requires food, as if there's no person there anymore, as if the ego has dissolved. But this is not transcendence. This is ego becoming more sophisticated, more subtle, more hidden, because now you can't even criticize them. If you say you're still seeking validation, they'll say there is no you here, there is no ego, there is only consciousness. If you say you seem defensive, they'll say, there is no one here to defend. There is only witnessing, only awareness. If you say you're performing for approval, they'll say, there is no performer. There is only the dance of existence. The words have changed. The language has become more refined, more spiritual, more transcendent. But the pattern is the same. Watch what happens when they don't get recognized. Watch what happens when people don't bow to them. Watch what happens when their enlightenment is questioned. Suddenly the ego appears. Suddenly they're defending themselves. Suddenly they're proving their legitimacy. Suddenly they're explaining why they are enlightened and you are not. The no one is here disappears very quickly when someone questions them. The only consciousness becomes very personal when someone challenges them. The witnessing awareness becomes very reactive when someone criticizes them. If there was really no ego, then no stone could hit anything. You throw a stone into empty space, it passes through. Nothing is disturbed, nothing reacts. Nothing needs to defend itself. But throw a stone at a spiritual ego, and suddenly there's a wall there. Suddenly something gets hit. Suddenly there's reaction, defense, explanation, proof. The emptiness was just performance. The egolessness was just language. The transcendence was just image. And the proof is in the reaction. Because reaction reveals the ego. Defense reveals attachment. Explanation reveals need for validation. If you were truly egoless, if there truly was no one there, then criticism would pass through you like wind through empty space. Questions would not disturb you. Doubt would not trigger you. But that's not what you see. What you see is spiritual people still building organizations, still creating hierarchies, still giving certificates, still deciding who is enlightened and who is not, still seeking recognition from each other. You see them comparing. My guru is more enlightened than yours. My path is truer than yours. My experience is deeper than yours. My realization is more authentic than yours. This is not egolessness. This is ego in competition. But now the competition is about who is more humble, who is more surrendered, who is more egoless, which is the ultimate absurdity. Competing about who has less ego, fighting about who is more peaceful, arguing about who is more transcendent. But that's what happens when spirituality becomes about validation instead of transformation. In India, there is an organization of Hindu monks founded by a politician. This organization decides who can wear the orange robe, who is a legitimate monk, who is recognized as spiritual. When I started giving people the orange robe, this organization contacted me. They said, "You are creating confusion. Only we can decide who wears the robe. Only we can certify who is spiritual." I told them, "I am going to fill your entire organization with my people. Soon you'll have my people as your president, as your secretaries, in all your positions. And you won't be able to tell who is who." They became terrified. They immediately made a rule. Anyone wearing my robe cannot be a member of their organization, cannot be recognized as a Hindu monk, cannot be certified as spiritual. Think about what this means. These are supposedly enlightened people running an organization, creating rules, deciding who is legitimate, fighting over who has authority, seeking recognition, giving recognition. This is not spirituality. This is politics dressed in orange robes. And here's where everything breaks. The people most obsessed with destroying the ego are often feeding it the most. Think about that. You're not just seeking validation anymore. You're controlling who gets to give it. Organizations, hierarchies, gatekeepers, all deciding who's spiritual and who's not. Who gets to wear the robe? Who gets the certificate? Who gets recognized? This isn't personal ego anymore. This is ego building systems. Now you're not performing for approval. You're deciding who deserves approval. You're not seeking recognition. You're granting recognition. The ultimate validation seeking. Controlling the validation itself. And you still think you've transcended ego. And the same pattern repeats everywhere. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the man who brought transcendental meditation to the West, charging people $250 to give them a mantra that in India costs the price of one coconut, which is about 1 rupee. 1 rupee. 3 coconuts, religious coconuts, not even regular ones. In $1, you can buy 60 religious coconuts in India. So $250 equals 15,000 coconuts worth of spiritual wisdom. And what is the mantra? It's nothing. It's just a sound. Any sound would work. But you are paying $250 because you want the validation. You want to be initiated. You want to be recognized. You want to be part of something. And when that stopped working, when people realized they paid $250 for nothing, Maharishi invented something new. Now he says he can teach you to levitate, to float in the air, to make your body rise and touch the ceiling, for an even higher fee, of course. And there are photographs, people sitting in midair, touching the roof. But he won't do a public demonstration. He says it's too secret. It can only be done in private. But strangely, the photographer is allowed to be there. So it's not really private, is it? The whole thing is a trick. Two photographs mixed together, one of you sitting on the floor, one of you sitting on a stool with the same cushion. Mix the negatives together and suddenly you're levitating. But people pay for this because they want to believe, they want to be special, they want validation that they are progressing, that they are advancing, that they are becoming spiritual. And this is the trap. You are not seeking truth. You are seeking validation that you found truth. You are not seeking enlightenment. You are seeking recognition that you are enlightened. You want the certificate, the title, the rope, the organization, the guru's approval, the community's acceptance. But none of that is spirituality. Real spirituality has no certificates, no organizations, no hierarchies, no one deciding who is enlightened and who is not. Because enlightenment cannot be recognized by others. The unenlightened cannot certify the enlightened. It's impossible. Who recognized Buddha when he became enlightened? Nobody. He had to declare it himself. Whether anyone believed him or not didn't matter. His enlightenment didn't depend on their recognition. Who recognized Jesus? Nobody. In fact, they crucified him. Did that make him less enlightened? Did that change anything about his inner state? No. Because enlightenment is not about external validation. It's an inner reality that exists whether anyone recognizes it or not. But you're still seeking that external validation. And that's how you know the ego is still there, just hiding, just playing a more sophisticated game. And now it gets even more uncomfortable. You cannot do this work for anyone else, and no one can do it for you. This is what I call self-surgery. Imagine you're the patient on the operating table, and you're also the surgeon. You have to cut into your own flesh, into your own ego, into your own conditioning, into your own need for validation, and nobody else can do it. Not your guru, not your therapist, not your spiritual community, not your teacher, not your master, because nobody else can see inside you. Nobody else knows where your wounds are. Nobody else can access your unconscious patterns. Nobody else can feel your pain. They can point, they can suggest, they can indicate, they can challenge, but they cannot do the surgery. Only you can cut, only you can remove, only you can heal. And this is terrifying, because it means you're completely alone in this. There's no one to save you, no one to fix you, no one to do the hard work for you. You are both the patient and the surgeon, both the problem and the solution, both the wound and the healing. A surgeon once told me about a medical condition I had, a growth on my finger joints. He said, for the next 10 years, one finger each year will be affected. 21 days of unbearable pain each time. The pain will be so intense, you won't be able to sleep. No medicine will help. Only surgery can remove it. I said, I don't want to wait 10 years. Suffering one finger at a time. Enduring 21 days of pain 10 times. Cut all the affected parts now. Do it once. Get it over with. He prepared everything. The operating room, the instruments, the anesthesia, everything was ready. But when the moment came, when I was on the table, when he was standing there with the scalpel, he broke down. He said, I cannot do it. I cannot cut your fingers. You are too close to me. I love you. I cannot bear to cause you this pain. Even though I know it's necessary, even though I know it will heal you, I cannot do it. I will call another surgeon. And I understood. This is the problem with external help. Even if someone wants to help you, even if they know exactly what needs to be cut, even if they have all the skill and knowledge, they cannot do it. Because either they care too much and they cannot bear to cause you pain, like my surgeon friend who loved me, or they don't care enough and they cut carelessly, without understanding, without sensitivity, causing more damage than healing. Or they don't see clearly enough because they are not inside you, they are looking from outside, guessing, assuming, projecting. Only you can do your own inner surgery. Only you know where it hurts. Only you know what needs to be removed. Only you can bear the pain that comes with cutting. And it's painful. It's like peeling your own skin, not just taking off clothes, but removing layers that have become part of you. Layers of identity. I am spiritual. I am humble. I am enlightened. I am special. I am on the path. Layers of belief. My Guru is the best. My path is the truest. My practice is the deepest. My experience is the most authentic. Layers of need. I need recognition. I need validation. I need approval. I need to be seen. I need to be acknowledged. All these layers have to go, and removing them feels like death, because in a way, it is death, the death of who you thought you were. But you cannot pay someone to do it for you. You cannot get a certificate that exempts you from the pain. You cannot find a shortcut. You cannot bypass the surgery. You have to do it yourself. You have to be willing to cut. You have to be willing to bleed. You have to be willing to endure the pain. And this is why most people don't do it. This is why they seek validation instead. Because validation is easy. Pain is hard. Getting your Guru's approval is easy. Just perform well. Just say the right things. Just wear the right clothes. Just follow the right practices. Cutting your own ego is hard. It requires honesty. It requires courage. It requires being willing to see yourself clearly, without excuses, without justifications, without a spiritual bypass. Wearing the right clothes is easy. Just buy an orange robe. Just put on the beads. Just adopt the look. Facing your unconscious is hard. It requires going into the darkness, into the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, into the wounds you've been covering up. Learning the right language is easy. Just memorize the terms. Just repeat the phrases. Just sound spiritual. Doing self-surgery is hard. It requires actually cutting, actually removing, actually transforming, not just talking about it, not just believing in it, actually doing it. So you keep seeking, keep performing, keep hoping someone will recognize you, will validate you, will tell you that you are enlightened, that you are progressing, that you are special. But that recognition will never come, or if it comes, it will mean nothing. Because it's not real. It's not based on inner transformation. It's based on performance, on presentation, on meeting external criteria. You can fool people. You can fool your guru. You can fool your spiritual community. You can even fool yourself for a while. But you cannot fool existence. You cannot fake transformation. You cannot pretend your way to enlightenment. Either you've done the work or you haven't. Either you've cut the ego or you haven't. Either you've faced yourself or you haven't. And no amount of external validation will change that reality. Even if the whole world recognizes you as enlightened, even if millions worship you, even if you have organizations and certificates and robes and titles, if you haven't done the inner work, if you haven't performed the self-surgery, if you're still seeking validation, then you are not enlightened. You're just ego-wearing spiritual clothes. And deep down, you know it. That's why you keep seeking validation. That's why you keep needing approval. That's why you keep performing. Because you know the work hasn't been done. You know the surgery hasn't happened. You know you're still the same person, just with different labels, different clothes, different language. But the same underlying pattern, the same need for recognition, the same fear of rejection, the same seeking for validation, just from different sources now. So what do? First, stop lying to yourself. Stop calling your need for validation humility. Stop calling your performance service. Stop calling your seeking surrender. See it for what it is. You want approval. You want recognition. You want validation, even from spiritual sources, maybe especially from spiritual sources. Because now you can't even admit it. Now it's hidden behind spiritual language. Now it's disguised as transcendence. But it's still there. And until you admit it, until you see it clearly, until you stop pretending, the work cannot begin. Second, notice the pattern. Watch yourself. Watch how you talk about your spiritual experiences. Watch how you present yourself to other spiritual seekers. Watch how you react when someone doesn't recognize your growth. Do you need to prove yourself? Do you need to explain? Do you need to defend? Do you need their approval? If yes, the ego is still there, still seeking, still performing. And don't judge yourself for it. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't add more layers on top of it. Just see it clearly, without judgment, without justification, without spiritualizing it. You're seeking validation, that's all. It's simple, it's human, it's understandable. But it's not spirituality. Third, understand that nobody can do this work for you. Stop looking for the perfect guru. Stop looking for the right organization. Stop looking for external validation. The guru can point. The organization can provide structure. The validation can feel good temporarily. But none of it can do your inner work. None of it can cut your ego. None of it can face your shadows. You are both the patient and the surgeon. Nobody else can do this work. Not your guru, not your organization, not your community. Only you. And yes, it will hurt. The false you will die. The performing you will die. The seeking validation you will die. But that's how the real you is born. When you finally stop seeking, when you finally stop performing, when you finally stop needing approval, something reveals itself. Not something new, not something achieved, just what was always there, hidden under the performance, covered by the seeking, obscured by the need for validation. Your actual self, simple, ordinary, real, not special, not enlightened, not spiritual, just you. And that's more valuable than any recognition you could ever receive, because it's not borrowed, it's not performed, it's not seeking anything. It just is. You were never missing anything. You were exhausting yourself trying to become acceptable to strangers, to gurus, to communities, to yourself. But you were already whole. You just forgot because you were too busy seeking to remember.